few weeks ago, PNP party leader Mark Golden visited Hanover. His visit was described by many as low energy. Compare former Prime Minister Portia Simpson Miller's entry along the same roadway in Sandy Bay, same space, and look at the response. Then fast forward to 2025, Mark Golding visit to the same location. Crowds do not win elections, but high energy and intensity does. When Golding visited, it was a sparse crowd. Now look at Winter McIntosh and then Portia Simpson Miller driving along the very same road in 2016. Compare that to 2025, Andrea Perkis and Mark Golding. Again, crowds do not win elections, but the energy and the vibration that was evident with Portia was absent with the PNP leader, Golding. We will see, but in the bastion of the Sandy Bay division, where once large crowds such as this followed and adored leaders like Portia Simpson Miller, that was not the scene. Judge for yourself. This is 2016.
Yes, that was 2016 indeed. And look at what is happening in 2025, 9 years later. No energy. Where are the comrades? Them never hear said Englishman passing through. They never hear baby Jesus was passing by. Where are the comrades? And the big question is, what does that mean for the party's chances in a general election? Because I don't know if you remember, some months ago it could have been, I made an impassioned plea to Master Andrew that if he want him third term, he need to think about all of the seat them. And I had mentioned that Craig Oates has been talking about the neglect of Hanover for quite some time. And we did make mention at 411 that the people of Hanover are taxpayers too, and they are entitled to have the amenities that others have. Well, if I was going to have a strong word or two with Mas Andrew and let him know that, we expect better, well, we are here to report that evidently things are going for the Hanoverians. Yes, Mas Craig has been telling us from time to time that things are going. The MP doing things on both sides. Dave Brown is on East Hanover side and the other miss from Western Hanover, both JLP. And they have been working, patching roads, fixing up playing fields and all that for the people and so on, things that they weren't doing. So I am very happy to report to you, the 411 family, and I know the JPU family and the Royalists are here listening to me as well, and the silent listeners, that central government is giving the support to the parish of Hanover. Finally, for quite some time, Craig Oates have been cursing everybody, from the PNP to the JLP, and he said to me, you never notice how me quiet? I said, yes, him stop criticizing the Labour Party people, and him said, I'm working. So, we must report it as we get it. So, yes, Mas Andrew, good job. And to the MPs, great job. Please keep it up, because the people in Hanover, it's a well-known thing. St. Thomas Hanover, and St. Mary, the three smallest parishes. They have always been neglected over the years. Well, St. Thomas got a lot of attention, and getting a lot of attention now, and so is Hanover getting a little attention. I don't know what is going on for St. Mary, right? So hopefully we get some attention here as well. Indeed. Anyway, folks, let me welcome you to Jamaica 411. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you're here for the first time, welcome. Remember to subscribe. Everyone, please go ahead, share the video, as well as give the video a thumbs up from now on. Please give the video a thumbs up. And remember to share as well, because it's important that we get our message out. So if you have given the video a thumbs up and you've shared the video as far and wide as possible, then please feel free to leave your comments in the comments section. Now I'm going to call up some people's name. I have been doing that for a little while, and I'm not going to stop until I get to everybody. So there is Geneva. Hi, Geneva. Paul Sullivan. Gillette Allen. Orville Brown from Canada. Then there is Charles Blake. He's on the east coast of Canada. Glenn GR. Primrose. Primrose, I haven't seen you in a while. You're in New Jersey. Sharon Nelson, Electro, as usual. And then Joey Bell, he's in Canada. David is at Walfall. Dan Maserati. Yes, Jamaica. Raymond Leonard, he's in New York. Stephen Kelly. Arthur Wilson. Hi, Arthur. Henderson Singh. Claudius Pommels. Lennox White. Owen Grant. Janet Mangal. Hi, Janet. Mervyn Hibbert. Hi, Mervyn. Hubert Brown. Eddie Trent. Alfred Wellingston. MJP 411. Melvita Mackenzie. Yes, hi, Melvita. Those I say a special hi. They're my regulars. The others I am seeing for the first time, and I'm going to get a special welcome, Let me finish though. Then there's X-Chin. Novia Campbell. Chinbella. Yes, I think I book you up on yes, you are from the JPU family. Donovan Morgan, and They Hate Nikki. I want to welcome you all to Jamaica 411. And I know when you're here, you come because you want to hear my views on some things that are happening in the country. And you've heard other people's opinion. You want to know what 411 thinks about it. So I want to welcome you all. Thank you for leaving your comments. I did indeed enjoy reading them. All right, so now that the preliminaries are out of the way, what is it that we have for you today? Well, today we're going to tell you something about the Resistance Road Tour. And before I begin, I want to thank everyone who has donated to the first and second leg. We will be embarking on our third leg next week, and we are taking donations. I want to thank you all, because without you, it could not be done. Yes, we could not have been, doing this tour. So thank you very much, donors. We do appreciate it. So now I am going to give you my report. You would have heard from Karen Cross. Now you're going to hear my report. And this resistance tour is very important, because we hear PNP people saying one thing, we hear Labour Party people saying one thing. We need to know what is happening on the ground, because we will have questions perhaps different from what others ask, and the only way we can get the answers is to go on the ground and find out for ourselves. Yes. So that we did. Now our first tour took us to Westmoreland, Manchester, South Manchester, South St. James, and the second tour took us to St. Elizabeth Northeast and Central Kingston. Now, I'm going to tell you something, and when I spoke to Karen, Karen said, yes, man, you go ahead and you tell the people what your views are. Now I'm going to tell you something. Even now, I'm still in shock. I am still in shock about what we learned on the road. And probably Princess is in shock too. Because all three of us have lived a very long time. And in this country as well. And they are political. I was mostly on the newspaper underneath the column there, arguing with people. And they were in the field, the political, PMP members, especially Karen. And I am telling you, when we went out there, we hear there's a recession. We hear that people are suffer. We need to have a change of government because people are suffer. And we need to get rid of the sufferation and people hungry and all kinds of things. Hospital now, work, all kinds of things. Road one, do this. I mean, we were hearing everything as to the reason why Master Andrew must call the election now. Call it, Andrew, call it. This wicked and uncaring government, you hear loudmouth Massey Dayton Campbell with that. Jamaica needs to get off this wicked and uncaring government, right? And how this happened and that happened, and most of what they're saying is that the people them in the country are suffer and they can't take anymore and they're tired of this government now. They want a change. That is what you've been hearing too. I'd love for you to put in the comment section some of the things that you've been hearing being said about Jamaica, about what is happening to the people of Jamaica, right? Because you may have heard extra other things as well. So I did make a note of it prior to going out on the road, long before, when this business coming up about people suffering and people hungry and they can't take it anymore and the government needs to go and the PNP government is the one for the poor and all them kind of thing there. But I've been saying that all those persons that were coming on talking about the sufferation, we did notice that none of them ever said that they were suffering. They never said, Andrew, even the labor rights, Andrew, imagine we're out here and we are suffer. I've never heard that. What we hear is other people are suffer. So I said, well, that is a curious thing. So we went out now to find out what the dickens is going on the ground. And so we asked questions. Princess was the one that was leading. Karen went off to do her thing. And me and Princess were walking. Me being the novice, you can appreciate that. And Princess would lead the question. So what do you think about what is happening in the economy? What do you think is happening about the government? What do you think about the government? What do you think about the leader of the opposition? What do you think about your MPs? What it is that the MP is doing? Do you think the MP is doing a good job or a bad job? These are the questions that were being asked. Now, when Princess asked the question, I asked a little follow-up. And I'm going to tell you now, when we went to Eastern Westmoreland first, where Dayton Campbell is going up against the sitting MP, Danny Lawrence. And when we stopped and asked about Danny, one of the most amazing things that we heard, and one of the most amazing things that was said in our view, is that, well, them not really have a problem with him. Listen to me good now, we're just not seeing him. We not see him and him not doing any work. What is the work that you would like to be done that is not being done? And then start to talk about the roads. Is there anything else? Not really, Not really, just that. You heard what I just said? This is Westmoreland. Westmoreland is in the rural area of Jamaica. And if there's any sufferation, it's usually the people in the rural area who think of suffer. They may not be hungry, but they usually lack money. Then everything is compounded when you're living now in the urban areas, in the rural setting, right? You usually have unemployment issues and so on and so forth. So that is where one would expect that the people would be bawling. And the only thing they were complaining about was that them not see the MP, and why would they want to see him? Is there anything? Yes, we want to see him so that we can tell him what our problems are, what issues they're having. That's what I'm saying, The roads, and then we asked about the roads. Which roads? And they started to tell us. Now, where we were in White House, there is a road that leads to Darliston that the taxis travel on. We went to Darliston, but it seemed as if we were on a different road because we never seen a taxi pass us. And that road was excellent. It has a few bad spots, right? But the road was an excellent road. I think that was a road near to the hotel, right? If I remember right. So we point, well, that could not have been the road. I think there are 3 roads going there, and we took one. But the road that the taxis travel on from White House to Darliston was in bad shape. Taxi drivers complain about it. The traveling commuters, them complain about it. And that's why they said, Danny, now do nothing. Now, that was some weeks ago. So we don't know if that has been sorted out, but we're just telling you what occurred at the time. So that was what they were saying. So they had no real problem with the MP. As a matter of fact, one lady said she had she's a PMP woman and a member, direct member. She didn't vote for Danny, but Danny and her grow. She know Danny from Danny Little Boy School. So even when he won, she never had any issues with it because he's one of them, right? From her, social background as well. And she had said that she had expected that Danny being one of them and come from down there, he would have more look out for the people instead of not seeing him. So that was their problem with Danny, right? They're not seeing him, and the roads they want to fix. Now, Master Andrew, may I have a word with you about the roads, but remind me, soon come back to that, right? Because them roads are leading, when on the south coast there, when they reach, what is the name of that bypass for Mandeville? That road, that nice pretty road go up there. What a disgrace. Since I was a child, when the road them usually so meager that when a Chevy and them car, they used to big na them days, When a Chevy on the road and a truck come, the Chevy have to pull over, make the truck pass. That's what was happening in Jamaica when we had growth in the economy. The country was not being developed, right? Now, every prime minister now want a legacy, so everybody will come and do their own little piece. But we will come back to that, Master Andrew. May I go quarrel about that one there? Yes. Now, that was the first shocker. I mean, we were really surprised. We expect to hear something else. Now, when it comes to, when we went to Darliston, we spoke to persons who were supporting the Labour Party and persons supporting the PMP. In fact, there was a group of men that were PMP supporters, and them say, I think they were the ones who said that it's going to take a backhoe to move Andrew, right, from the position because of the work that he's doing. And these men sitting in Darliston Square, so them drink and talk and so on, so they would know the opinions of the people. So when them tell you that, they know what they're talking about in terms of that area. Now, in Darliston now, it was same thing, complaining about Danny, and them not seeing him and them not doing any work, but them don't have any personal problem with Danny. You following me? It's not like when we were in White House. There were some persons who were saying them want back, then I want dating, right? They don't want dating, period. It's not like, except for one lady, and when we done with her, she don't want dating either. I'm sure of that. So when we spoke to this particular lady now, she said that there are people who want but Luther, but she don't want Luther. We don't want Luther, make Luther go. At them, the kind of argument that we never heard one person say that about Danny. That's what I'm trying to show you. And that is highly unusual. But he's not working and I'm not seeing him. That was the problem. And with him, and then now the works that them want him to do is about the roads. There was one young lady though from New Roads, I think the area is called. She is a PMP supporter. And she want Andrew Figwe because from when them want water in a New Roads, them not have no water. Me ask her from when the water gone. She said from Labour Party coming up power. Right? Now whether that is so or no, me take it as me get it. Mas Andrew, me I give it you as me get it. So please, sir, if you don't have any plans to do anything about New Roads and the water supply, see what you can do for them for me now, please. Because we promised them, and at the first me I come tell you. What with all the other excitements that were going on, it took away all our attention, so now we're getting round to it. So please, anybody, friend on friendly terms with Mas Andrew, you've been very nice and you've been sending him the stuff, we know, because we can hear it in his speech, that our message is getting to him and he's responding. So please, can you just forward this to Mas Andrew? And we thank you very much. Now, Mas Andrew, New Roads, PMP people apparently down there. And you know, want nobody are carrying a bad press for you, You want everybody to say bad to bad, that you want to hear bad to bad, right? So if you don't have any plans for the people of New Roads, and somehow ever feeling that you may have plans for them water supply, it seems as if they were having water. So if them don't have water, no, it could be a pump issue. See what you can do for them now, please. Yes, because remember, when you want to, this is a parish that the Labour Party, they have not represented in years, 30 odd years, I do believe. And I imagine, as a good politician, you want to hold on to what you have. And therefore, to do so, you need to give your MPs all the support they can get. And it looks to me like you're in a good spot. All you have to do is to take care of two little something, the roads and the water for New Roads. And after you put that in place, or you make those announcements, if you have plans to fix those roads, the ones that the taxis drive on is the main one, those that have not been fixed in 30 years, them another set of roads, and then you patch. Now, I would say that the next thing that needs to be done is for Danny to go around and meet the people, shake them hand and listen to them. And you see, once that happens, the seat is yours. There was another road that this elderly lady told us about. I think we played that in a video. Karen, I think it's Grove, something or another, the place is called. The road wasn't as bad as the lady said, but some parts it flooded, she said. So I imagine you'd have gotten that from Karen's program. When I ask about the high cost of living, that is what I found most astounding. Nobody that we spoke to seemed to have any problem with the economy and the high cost of living. That is not them problem. Well, we don't really have no problem with that, Pure them the argument, PNP, JLP alike, old and young. Even the pensioners, and you know that the pensioners are the ones who get the most licks when the economy now run right. And the main thing that they're talking about, again, are the roads. That's it. So that is the problem that the government must fix. Right? Mas Andrew, you want Eastern Westmoreland? Fix the road and get the MP to go around and shake the people and find out what going with them, and you're good as gold. Yes. Because we don't want dating gambling in our house. We don't want dating gambling at the house of Mas Andrew. You said that you have plenty of money, and we have money like dirt. See if you can throw some down in a Westmoreland if we please, in a East Westmoreland. I imagine that Western Westmoreland and Central Westmoreland have the same problems too, because when we look on that road on the way in, I have never seen the roads in that shocking condition since they were rehabilitated in the 70s. But let me keep on my mouth and not start on that. That is another video unto itself. I'm going to do one on the roads and I'm going to do one on the bus system. And I am talking about the bus system in Kingston. Me I go put in a word for my Kingstonian people. Yes. But let us keep to the road tour for now. The ones that we did first and second. Our next visit was to Cambridge in South St. James. And we also went to Central St. James, where there is Janice Allen, and she's going up against the MP Delroy Clark. And so, Cambridge, we had a big cuss out with a rise of a buck up. We call her Cynthia, but you would have heard Karen calling her Hyacinth, but no man, as Cynthia we call her. So we had a big cuss out with Cynthia, and we stopped and talked to some people, some young people too. They were having some Jamaica Day at the time. And that was very interesting. Again, it's the same thing. Roads. One elderly lady said the crime, but her daughter said the crime is not so bad now, right? You know, they used to have killings and so on, what type of crime? Killings, and they haven't had any in a while up in Cambridge. And again, it's the roads. The high cost of living, they don't have no problem. A PMP and JLP people we talk to, you know, that's another problem. But then here again is the odd thing. The Labour Party people, PMP people don't want him, naturally. Homer Davis is the MP for the JLP. And it is Nikisha Burchell that is going up against him. And the people are saying that him not doing a work. And what is strange about it is when I was living in Copperwood in the same constituency, South St. James, around 2010 to 2011, 2012, thereabouts. He came around, you know, and the couple never had no water. And he got the Ministry of Agriculture that has a land alongside it. I think that's where they do their research and development. And they have a pipe running through the community. And he went and negotiated and got them to allow the people to bore. And that's how we get water. That's how we got water. And the water was there and some cascades between the community and the next one. And then block up the pipe, the one called hog hole. Block up where the water would come from with cement. So for years, they never had no water. And he came and he negotiated. So it is a surprising thing that now that he's become an MP, he's not doing no work. Now, Mas Andrew, you know, it's politics and you know how to play the game. But if the Peter Principle is a problem, Peter Principle meaning that maybe Homer has attained the heights beyond which he cannot perform any better than he was performing before. Right? When he was mayor, when he was a councillor. And making him into an MP seems to be beyond his capacity. If he holds any position in government, the next time you're shuffling your cabinet, may I recommend that you shuffle him out. Make him go on in that constituency, go to work. Him probably the type of person that can ride and whistle. Right? So, that is my recommendation. The people are saying him not doing any work and they're not seeing him. But they seem to be a little more against him, right? Even though I suspect, based upon what the people were saying, that if him start to do some work and him come round and start to meet the people like how him was before, they might forgive him, right? But as to whether there's a chance that he might lose the constituency, well, we don't know. We hear that there are some Labourites totally against him and they're likely not going to come out to vote. But there are almost the same amount of Labourites in South St. James as there are PNP. You cannot afford to lose one vote. Now, we don't particularly would like to see Side Chick Nick in our parliament. She was part of the sabotage crew, right? She's a riser. But I often blame government, central government, when MPs don't work. Because if central government was giving them the support, then obviously they would go out and do the work. So I don't know what is going on there, but that is what was happening in South St. James. The roads, the people in Cambridge were complaining about. We didn't talk to too many other persons. When we got to Central St. James, which is Janice Allen going up against Leroy Clark, the sentiment seemed to be that it looked a little dicey for Janice, so she may not make it. So that's probably one seat that you can put in your column. Then we felt it imperative that we should go and pay Murcott's constituency a visit. So the MP at the time, Robert Chin, he has since been replaced. But even without him being replaced, again, it was the same thing the people were saying. They don't seem to have a problem with him, except that him not working, and him not coming round, and them don't see him, and they would have liked to see him to tell them what their issues are. Same argument, right? Them think him is a lazy MP, but the saving grace is the councillor called Morant, that double barrel name. Yes, the lady Morant. She is the one that is very popular with the people there. Everybody have good things to say about her, and how she kind, and how you can call her anytime when you have any problem, night or day, she's there for the people. So it is she who was keeping your light going, right? Now, Masandro, I don't need to tell you that we don't want Murcott in our house, not even as a visitor. We don't want him in the parliament. Now, he made what I would regard as a tactical error the other day when he had this conference, and him name out the communities that him visit in the divisions, and him name them, and it's one long list of them. Now, you are going to have to make sure the person who is managing the Newman Ives, Ian Ives, that you get that video and you write down every one of the places that Murcott saying visit, and make sure saying walk back at him. He's a new man now, him fresh, and he's going to have to go talk to the people. In the meantime, you have to get that lazy MP doing something, right? You have to get him to do something. Now, the people again were complaining about the roads. They don't have no issues with you. They don't have no issues with the economy. Some of them have issues with Margoling. And those who don't have no issues with them will make sure they have issues with him, because they need to know what is going on in them country. So again, we weren't porous. And there again, we met some PMP people and JLP people, and we spoke to them. And again, then tell us what their problems are. And it's the same thing they say about Chin, and it's the same thing they say about the Councillor Morant, PMP and JLP alike, right? And the economy is not what they're complaining about. Them not say them must suffer. Them not say nobody has suffer. Them not talking about children hungry. I mean, none of these things they're talking about. So we stopped for about quite a little while in Scots Pass. Scots Pass is on the border of Clarendon, southwest Clarendon, and Manchester, South Manchester. So we were actually standing in Cousins, Lothan Cousins, the PNP MP. That's Noel R. Scott's old seat. That's where we're standing. And across behind them is South Manchester. So we were getting news from both sides. Mainly, South is one we were interested in. And again, they had a little problem because the toll road is open. There's no charge. So it kind of killed the business for them around there. And because everybody taking the toll road who don't have to travel through Porous. But them anticipating that when the toll road is up and running and people have to pay, more traffic will come their way. So we had a good nice talk. And again, it's the same argument. Roads, the lazy MP, but then I have any serious problem with him. Well, the Labour Party has since replaced Robert Chin, and it's Ian Ives who will be running on the JLP's ticket for the next election, and Peter Bunting is the one that will be going up against him. Masandro, kindly give them all the support they can get, because we do not want Murcott in our house ever again. Right? So get all of the roads and fixed, and ensure that Ives walk in every community that Murcott walk into. And I'm sure Murcott only walk and meet PNP people, him for walk and meet everybody, PNP and JLP alike. Now, so that was the first tour. The second tour that we did took us now to Northeast St. Elizabeth, where I met my betrothed. Yes, sir. Man proposed to me, brother. Now, we went to Brace River, which is PNP. We went to Silo, PNP. And we also went to Bogue, strong PNP area. And it is Delroy Slowley, who was a PNP, that them chase out. And the JLP gave him a chance to run on their ticket, and he beat Basil Waite. Bust him shot, as country people would say. Beat him and took every opportunity, and is working. Now he, based upon what everybody is saying, is a representative. Go around and him help people, and and ask what colors them support. Right? You ask him for anything and he can give you. So he's a representative. And even the PNP people in Brace River, some staunch PNP, they were saying that it's going to be tight with Jess. There are some PNP people that don't like Jess. And we have a buck up one that said them not like Delroy Slowley. So when the PNP people saying it's going to be tight, it is because of what them hearing in their area, which is the strong PNP areas that Jess going to need to get her support from. And the one word that is on everybody's lips is working. Them said Delroy is working. And if the man is working, even though there are far more PNP in that seat than JLP, right? Him going to have to go get either those PNP people to vote for him, which is hard enough as it is, or suppress the vote by them not going out to vote for Jess, and therefore him going to stay there, right? But him working, and he's working. And so clearly he's getting the support. Look like you want to keep that seat, Mas Andrew. So he's doing a good job based upon what both sides saying. And when we went to Silo, same thing. You will have those persons who are PNP, of course, will be critiquing him, but them all admit that he's working. The person in Silo that is PNP, that is an organizer, he had some criticism for Slowley not, doing any work in Silo. And he had to go on real bad to get things done now. If anybody can give him a bike him say want, kind bicycle, the thing I get too hard for him. So elderly man. And he called himself Kojo. If you can't give Kojo a bike, who can give Kojo a bike, no good. Because Kojo is a man working all his life for PNP, for win the seat. And he want a bike and can't get none now. So, Mas Delroy, if you can go find Mas Kojo out of Silo, he's in Windsor, right? He's an organizer. You can get him on for your side, Massa. You get some vote there too. So good luck to you with that. And Jess, well, she's a riser, and we'll leave her to the people in Northeast St. Elizabeth. They will decide her fate. Then now we have the tour now that we made of Central Kingston. And we went to the fishing village on Norman Malley Boulevard, the Raytown Fishing Village, and we spoke to some people there, PNP people mainly. And, their main thing is a personality thing. And their problem is with Steve McGregor. Some people don't want him. Matter of fact, most of them don't want him. He has not earned his stripe, and he come get seat. And I take people for granted, right? Which is the usual thing. But in terms of the economy, again, we're not hearing a griping about that. We're not hearing a talk about the sufferation. We're not hearing a talk about the cost of living. And being PNP people, then we talk about Andrew. They think Andrew corrupt and the JLP corrupt and so on, right? So the thing that startled me the most, let me tell you, my people, it is the fact that the people are not complaining about the things that the people normally complain about. When politicians usually go on the road, the people would tell them they want jobs, right? They want road, they want light, they want water, and they want jobs and education, right? That is what you hear them talking about. When you go on the road now, what the people talking about are the roads. Can you imagine if those roads were being fixed, if the government was paying attention to the roads and fixing them? What the hell would people have to complain about? You know, I hear them talk about government corrupt or anything, not in the rural area. And I'm sure they've been hearing things, right? So clearly there is something that is happening in the economy and it is reaching them on the ground. So when we talk about the high cost of living, where is the high cost of living? You know where it is? You guessed it. In the supermarkets. It is the people who are shopping in the supermarkets that are feeling the high cost of living. That is where it is being experienced. And even for quite a number of years after COVID, when we had a high food cost, high cost of living in terms of the food, that has now gone down real low, right? We have been a lot of production that is going on, food production. So the prices of the food items came down. So once that happened, you go out there talking to people. Them not remember not what it happened before. That's just how it is. Right? So there can be no doubt about it that the people of the country, and these are people which are ordinary people, not people who are driving, people who are taking taxis and buses and so on and walking on the street. The ordinary people who are in the vast majority. Pensioners, minimum wage earners, persons who probably not working, you know, those lounging around and so on. Those are the people that we spoke to. People who are small business people, have the, you know, selling fruits and vegetable items, right? If business were bad, then they would have been complaining. So clearly the money is circulating and the money is going around and the people are more or less satisfied with where they are in their lives. That's the situation in those constituencies, both urban and rural. So when you hear the People's National Party, led by that Englishman and that uppity Negro Peter Bunting, talking about the people them must suffer, the people them hungry, and middle class people them I talk to, those who wouldn't know. Those people get up in the morning, shave, put on them clothes, go to work and come back in the evening. Are them the people them I talk to? Hoping that them would believe and stupid enough now to go take them, put them in a Jamaica house. Right? When you hear them on the platform I talk about FAO, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, they go around the world and do surveys about this, that, and the other. And one of the surveys that they do is about food security. And when you hear Mark Golding, I want you to pay attention. When you hear him and Dayton Campbell and the whole of them on the political platform talking about the FAO put out a report saying that the food security in Jamaica is poor. The people in Jamaica are not eating properly. Let me tell you something. That report was for the years 2021 to 2023. This is now 2025. Apparently Mark Golding not left them the years yet. He's still behind time. The report that they're referring to is for the years 2021 to 2023. It is not 2024 and it is certainly not 2025. We just start the year. So it's still news I can come tell you about something that happened already. That was what the situation was in 2023 2022 and 2021. And when you look at the report, that 55.1% is covering 3 years. That's what it was over the 3-year period. And if you look at it individually, you will see that in 2021 and 2022, it was 22% of the people that they said were not eating properly. So they were carrying, and I'll come tell you about something that happened a long time. Still news. That's not current event. We don't know what the current situation is. So when they come telling you that there are 55% of our children that are hungry, not eating properly, and they're going to be, I suppose, raising taxes in order to expand the school feeding program, it is all information and basing it on. And lying to you, telling you it's the latest report. It is indeed the latest report, but it is based upon old information from 2023, 2022, and 2021. What is the current situation? We don't know. So how are they going to be making decisions today about something that did happen 2 years ago? Tell me how that makes sense. But they want the power, and these are the things that they have to do. They have to lie, these risers, right? They have to lie in order to get your votes. They want you to believe that you are having an experience that you are clearly not having, based upon old information. And I come fool you up now to make you think say something happened today. Listen to them again when you hear them with that rubbish. So the people have the problem, the roads won't fix. PMP can't come tell them nothing about that. Then can't come say this a road won't fix and that the road won't fix. So the next thing people go and say is, but you never do it when you were there. So that's why they have to go in now and make up stories and want you to believe that something happening in the economy and something happened with you, you suffer, you're hungry, right? And that they want you to believe. And yet you're not having that experience. You're not going to pay them any mind. You don't know what they're talking about. Not true. Anyway, folks, that's what I have for you today. We'll be going on our next tour next week. If you have any donations you'd like to give for the third leg of our road tour, you may do so by sending to Karen by direct banking. It's on the screen. And for me, you can send it Western Union. The delivery method is GK1 and the wallet number is listed there. Again, I want to thank everyone who has donated before. We greatly appreciate it. And I want to thank everyone for joining me today, for liking, sharing, subscribing, and leaving your comments in the comments section. So until next time, take very good care of yourselves and walk good.